Hi, welcome to my channel, Zen and Fit. Today I wanted to make a video talking about how do we navigate when you're trying to cut back on cost in this inflationary environment that we're in, or possibly a recession environment that we're entering into. How do you navigate that? How can you maybe take some of your power back in dealing with the high cost of everything? Is that even possible? So before I jump into the video, if you could please do me a favor and hit the like and subscribe button, because that enables me to be able to create more content on this channel. I do want to thank some of the new recent subscribers to my platform. I did notice that. It's much appreciated. I do try to post usually once a week on this channel. Sometimes it's more often than that, but usually it's on a weekly basis. And for some of you who are new here, I discuss various topics that range from mental health to health and wellness, as well as lifestyle topics. Now, I can imagine for many of you who are currently listening to this video right now, when you've walked into a grocery store, you have definitely noticed the change in prices over the last few years, how much higher things are. And of course, that can be stressful for a lot of us when you're just trying to meet your basic necessities, such as food, and it's so expensive, right? Just like, let's say, a bag of chips, or if you're buying fish or meat or whatever the case may be, it's a lot higher than it used to be. And of course, that eats into your the amount of income that you have left over, which for many people is pretty much non-existent. And so in this video, I just want to kind of maybe explore what are some ways that people can begin to take back some of their power when they're navigating this inflationary environment. Of course, there's a lot of things that are not within our control, right? We don't set the prices for food, for basic necessities, and certain things you can't control. But the things that are within your control, maybe you can start empowering yourselves to make changes in your life. And certain examples I'm going to bring up, like maybe instead of constantly buying the new cell phone or new clothes that you used to get, maybe you start to cut back on that. And this video isn't about raining judgment on people, it's just exploring and figuring out how to navigate this kind of high cost environment that we're all living in, right? So for a lot of people out there, they have been cutting back on their spending because they have to survive. They can't afford to spend maybe like they used to on consumer discretionary items that aren't essential, basically. And so I know that there's been this whole new trend known as under consumption core. That's the new term that's out there. But I mean, a lot of people have been doing that just because they can't afford all of these non-essential items. You can't afford to go on a trip maybe this year because you got to watch your budget. You got to think about your housing expenses, or how much it costs at a grocery store, or taking care of your children if you have kids, whatever the case is. And so these are ways that you can take back some of your power, even though it doesn't feel like it, when it comes to navigating this type of environment. Because some people make a choice to continue consuming, even if it's putting things on credit, and you're just creating more debt for yourself when it comes to especially non-essential items. There's nothing wrong with taking a step back and saying, you know what, I can't afford this right now. I don't have the money to be able to pay for this right now, and I don't want to put myself in further debt where I'm digging a deeper hole for myself. And so that's where you begin to take back some of your power in navigating this kind of inflationary, possibly recession environment. It's just making more conscientious decisions on where you spend your funds. We all know that food is essential. We all need to eat at some point, right? To survive, right? But you can also cut back on other things that aren't essential, that maybe you enjoy doing, but right now, for the time being, you can't do that. whether that's traveling, going to theme parks, shopping, buying different clothing items. Maybe you use some of the clothes that you already have. And this year, instead of buying a whole new wardrobe for the fall period, it's like it could be like a reset button where you begin to appreciate the things that are currently in your life, the older items that you have in your life, whether it's your older cell phone. If it's a smartphone and it still works, then what's the point of buying a new phone so that you can create more debt for yourself? That's where you can take back your power. You can make a choice to say, I'm not going to upgrade to the latest iPhone or Samsung that's out there because I need to watch my money. And I'm not going to keep giving these other companies that are wealthy more money, and I'm creating more debt for myself. So it's making choices like that where you can. And this isn't to judge people, it's just exploring ways of navigating this kind of environment because life is hard. We all know that. And so being able to have some level of power and control over your life is helpful. It gives you some strength to continue on instead of you're constantly floundering everywhere and struggling and being stressed and creating more debt, and it's just getting worse and worse and becomes a vicious cycle, right? And so breaking out of that where you can. A lot of people say there's money to be made, and sometimes it's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard to increase your income, even when you've been actively trying. And so, in the meantime, it's making more conscientious decisions to say, you know what, some of these discretionary items I don't need. I'm not bringing it into the household. And it's also maybe if you're a family, having these discussions with your kids, your children, about how as a family unit you guys can work together to cut down costs when it comes to these discretionary items and iPads and everything else that's out there. Doesn't mean that all of that stuff is bad, but it's changing your mindset on what's important. The mindset is that you do have the power and control to determine where you want to spend your money when it comes to discretionary items, and you can say no. So I look forward to reading any comments you have in regards to consumerism. And if you could please do me a favor, if you haven't already done so, please hit the like and subscribe button, and also share this video with anyone you know of that may be appreciative of this type of content. And until next time, take care.